Okay, so what we're talking about is Syria and how they're angry about their government is formed and organized. And so basically they chased their president al-Assad out, and he's in hiding and nobody really knows where he is right now. And they're protesting against the government, but many protesters are being shot at and killed by the military, even like young kids and people, like innocent people just out in the streets being shot at. And Russia is kind of a part of this too because they're allies of Syria, and they've helped shape the type of government that Syria is beginning to be, which is kind of like a dictatorship.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's kind of happening.
Can you
in
relate
Syria.
the problem that's going on in Syria right now to another situation that's happened in the recent past?
Well, Osama bin Laden, he kind of like, he
led the Al-Qaeda.
He led the
group.
Al-Qaeda group, and he caused harm and deaths to many people, even like including in the U.S. when he like kind of committed 9/11.
Right. He organized 9/11.
He organized 9/11.
Right. He organized it. And then he was hiding for many, many years.
Yeah.
And they finally found him a couple of years ago. So this is very similar. So how does this impact other nations and the United States?
Well,
what's going on over there right now?
It's turning into dictatorship, which is bad because there are already so many dictatorships and people are getting killed for stupid reasons and people don't have freedom. And so the U.S. doesn't want to deal with like another country like that, and
you kind of want to bring it up to like us.
Yeah, like a democracy.
Like democracy, right, where the people are
free and they have like the right to vote and they have freedom and rights.
Okay. So what are the United States and United Nations doing right now to help this situation out in Syria?
Well, right now they're placing sanctions on Syria's weapons and guns, so they can't, like, they don't have a lot of military force, I guess, to shoot at the protesters, because it's, like, wrong and they don't want that to happen there.
Okay. So placing all these sanctions, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to help?
I think it's going to help a little bit because, like, in the end, less and less people will will not die, and will be, like, less people will be shot at because they don't have that, like, material, I guess, like those weapons they could use.
Okay. So I was thinking, as you're talking about this, I was thinking maybe they should send in more army, more military to show our strength. Because as the U.S., we always seem to get involved in other countries more so. And show them that we mean business by sending our own military in. And hopefully they will see that we're there to stop that fighting.
Like a show of strength, putting in.
Right. Now, how does this shape your experiences in real life? Like, how does this relate to maybe something you've been involved with in your real life?
Well, whenever I, like, get in, like, a physical fight with my siblings...
Which happens all the time. No, I'm kidding.
Well, you guys always try to break it up and tell us to stop. And it, like, pretty much gives off the message that fighting isn't right, and it really doesn't solve anything, and it's like not gonna help anything in the end.
Right. Okay. And so what other support do you think that you can, on your perspective, how does that relate then to the your perspective on this then?
Well, like, I guess the UN is kind of like the parents of the situation, and they're trying to fix things, and they're not, like...
In a good way.
Like, in a good way, yeah. Without, like, causing more violence.
Mm-hmm. I think we send our military in, there would be more violence. But I think maybe it won't last as long if we send them in. Right, and hopefully...
And just, like, show them that we're there.
Mm-hmm.
But, and then I feel like Russia and the military of Syria is kind of like the children that they're trying to, like, calm down, I guess, from all the fighting, because they're the ones causing the problems, and the protesters aren't. They're just doing what they're doing what they believe in, and everyone should have the right to do that. Okay. And that's, like, another reason why you wouldn't want a dictatorship, because of freedom. And it kind of, like, means the UN strongly agrees that fighting and war is very wrong and needs to be stopped because it doesn't fix anything in the end.
Okay. Well, good. It sounds like you have a good perspective on what's happening in the world today. And hopefully they find this al-Assad man soon so they can stop. And maybe they can get a democracy going in that country. Good job.
Thank you. You too.